Innovate today, lead tomorrow. In today's episode, we have Callum McNeil, CEO of Kr8ive Innovations Lab, telling us about how he uses AI to push boundaries to make customer experience and employee experience to the next level. See you on the next wave. Let's explore AI and future technology. At the Infinite Waves podcast, we are dedicated to spotlighting leaders who blend creativity with technology to shape the future. Powered by Kr8ive Innovations Lab, this podcast delves into innovation, paving the way to a sustainable, smarter world. Tune in and let's pioneer the next wave of possibilities together. So in our previous episode, we had Anna Suleiman talking about ideas made possible in the customer experience space. And today we have Callum McNeil, CEO of Kr8ive Innovations Lab, here with us, explaining how he uses technology and AI to push boundaries into pushing customer experience together with employee experience and testing the client loyalty by the use of technology. I'm really super excited to have Callum McNeil with us today. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Russell. It's a pleasure to be here.
All right. So once again, thank you, Callum, for being on the show. So my first question for you is, I read your profile and I see that you started your career in NASA, which is not a place that any person who starts a career would easily start at. And today you're the CEO of Kr8ive Innovations Lab, helping businesses with customer experience and employee experience. So I'm just curious to know, how did that journey from NASA lead you here today?
Okay, well, thank you, Russell. Yeah, good question. I think it all comes down to choosing a path that sort of invigorates you. So when I think about my upbringing in school, I was a little bit of a weaker student in high school and even beginning in university. So I started out in Bachelor of Commerce and Finance. It really wasn't my thing, and I was paying school at the time to go to, and I was working at TD Bank. And so I paid my way through school and realized that, although I'd been about 2 years in, it wasn't the right thing for me because I really had a passion in computers. And this is the day of the internet where it was almost beginning, like 1994. And I really thought that was the future for me. So I think when it came down to it, my passion was around technology and change and how it could really shape the world. And it got me fascinated. So when I went into that, I actually started getting top grades. And that, I think, would really be the start. So once I started getting really good grades in school, I got my choice of practicums where I wanted to work. And I worked at TELUS. So I was an enthusiastic young man, and I worked pretty hard there. And I got an award from them. And I think I caught the eye of NASA. So at that point, NASA hired me in a company called Orbital Astronomic Observatory.
Wow.
And we did consulting work to IT and try to bring new ideas to companies and implement IT in a visionary way. And this kind of started my career, where I went down a path of getting noticed. And I think shortly after NASA, Longview Systems was around, and it's a great Calgary company, as most people know. I was around employee 30-something, and we built that company to about 1,800 before I moved on in life. But I think that really shaped my initial career. And I think once you find something you love, you really actually excel at it. And I think that was probably the most key thing. So that's how it shaped me becoming, I guess, CEO today, was a really strong beginning like that in the industry I love.
Yeah. So, I mean, that's a very exciting story. I mean, like, you had a chance to become an astronaut. I'm just kidding. Yeah, that's a dream of most kids these days. But you actually had a shot at that, and you still chose to help people with customer experience and employee experience. I'm just curious to know, so at Kr8ive Innovations Lab, what exactly that you do? Like, what is the purpose and the story behind Kr8ive?
Yeah, Kr8ive Innovations Lab. So our sister company, Tycans, was originally started in the customer experience space. So implementing contact centers, developing software that would innovate and allow their contact center solutions to really dig deep into solving the problems that contact centers originally had. So that's like things little like talking on the right communication lines, like how do people want to communicate? Do they want to use cell phones? Do they want to use text or chat or voice? Some people still love voice. And then a realization became that with the innovation of AI and the trajectory that it was going, it was imperative for us to jump on board and really allow our customer base to see the rewards of innovation and tech. So we spun off a business. We were in data analytics at Tycans and software development. So that arm naturally progressed into an idea that we could be leaders in AI. And we had this software development talent, and soon after we started hiring for people that were in that space, the AI and software development. So for us, that was a real key moment where we realized that there's a lot of low-hanging fruit in customer service and in employee experience and retention. So from there, a lot of these natural things that our customers were asking for were easy for us to implement. So yeah, we started with the low-hanging fruit, the stuff that's really easy to implement and has a real likelihood of succeeding. That's how we started at Kr8ive Innovations Lab.
That's very interesting. And yeah, you said that you take customer feedback into building your product. So I think that's the best way to grow your company, isn't it?
Yeah, I think we look at it as an iterative process. So our customers almost teach us what to implement, and then they in turn we help them implement it. And it's a really iterative process where we try something out, improve it, and then come back and try something else out and improve it. And it's a constant evolution. I think that's you're going to see that more and more in AI, where people have great ideas but are scared to implement the technology and take that next step forward, but it doesn't have to be huge. It can be little steps along the way where you're constantly getting customer feedback and employee feedback and asking your customers what their customers are saying about that feedback. And I think that should drive the innovation is that constant feedback loop, so that you're improving and improving and improving. And over time, I think that's how the strength of AI will continue to shine and grow and grow and grow. It won't be overnight, but it'll be incremental. So that's what I believe, yeah.
Yeah, beautiful. So I remember you mentioned Calgary as part of your introduction. So I'm just curious to know, we are all from Calgary, and I think most of our listeners are going to be from Calgary. And I'm just curious to know, so what aspects of this Calgary environment that you see the most beneficial for your business, Kr8ive Innovation Labs right now?
Yeah. Calgary's a really interesting place. Being here since I was 2 years old, I consider Calgary home. Yeah, I've grown up in the hockey system in Calgary, and snowboarded and enjoyed the mountains in both summer and winter. So definitely a place where I consider it my playground, and also most of my friends. Calgary's in a unique position where there's a highly educated young citizenship, and that really and a lot of buildings and great spaces for people to work. So I think that that combination with highly skilled, young, talented people, and Calgary just has an energy and a spirit about it, where it's a happy, prosperous. People are willing to put in a lot of effort and work hard and play hard. So for me, that really equates to a good business scenario. And as well, a shout out to the organizations like Platform Calgary and even at the provincial level, Alberta Innovates, and at the national level, where you've got Scale AI and CDAP, which are programs geared towards helping young companies start up and become successful, so that Canadian companies can compete at a business, at a global stage in business. Yeah, so I think it's really important. Calgary is obviously. I'm a Calgary Flames fan as well, so probably lost half the viewership right there, as there's a lot of sports team fans around there. But yeah, no, it's Calgary just to me has a real special place in my heart.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Calgary is a beautiful city. I'm new here, but still, for all I fall in love with the city. Like you correctly said, the mountains. I mean, during the winter or the summer, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
And so moving back to Kr8ive Innovations Lab. If I ask you, there's tons of AI companies out there right now, and we see AI being such a buzzword that sometimes it doesn't mean anything. AI is everywhere, part of everything. It's like the internet, to say. What kind of different use, what's the biggest differentiator Kr8ive Innovation Lab bring into this AI space?
Yeah, good question. I think it's as simple as focusing on the most important parts of any business. So you would think about employee happiness. You know, are you treating your people well enough where word is spreading that it's a place they want to work? And you know, if you have really good employees, that really helps the vibe. So you know, creating a space that they're comfortable in. So for instance, we have a lot of developers that very active minds and like to move around, so we like to create a space that's open for them. So during a meeting, we don't just all sit around a boardroom table and talk. We actually have, you know, you can if pacing is your thing and you think better when you're pacing, or you like to drum in the air, and whatever brings out your creative and best self, we try to create an environment for that. And then secondly, I think, is your customers. So if you treat your employees well, they're going to treat their customers well. And we've had a lot of success in the customer experience and employee experience areas, and I think by focusing on our customer as a partner. So, you know, for instance, you don't want too many customers. What you want is really good, strong relationships with these customers, so that you understand their business and that you can dig deep and you know, have the conversations where they're not afraid to say, hey, I've got this challenge, and I need help with it. And that creates like that open conversation where you're able to be like, at your best helping them, and they're at their best because they're helping their customers. So I think, you know, between those two things, that's the basis. And then from there, we create custom solutions for our customers. So because of the fact that they are unique and we have spent the time to learn them, it's quite easy for us to innovate with them by creating solutions that are really targeted towards their specific business needs. Because AI is a big topic, and we specialize in customer loyalty. So you know, creating that stickiness. So like, once a customer is yours, they're yours forever. So we do that with our customers. We're hoping that our aim is to create that with their customers. So it's a customer-to-customer relationship, which is, I think, you know, a big part of our success and what differentiates us between a lot of our other competition.
Yeah, no, that's beautiful. It seems like you're not only innovating with technology and AI, but you seem to be innovating and redefining the workspace culture by saying some things like, you know, you let people drum during a meeting. That's something that you're told not to do, right? You don't disturb anyone. But seems like Kr8ive Innovations Lab is reinventing the whole corporate system while creating solutions for your customers, which is interesting.
Yeah.
So you told me what differentiates Kr8ive from other companies. If I ask, like, maybe your vision towards what sort of a challenge does Kr8ive Innovations Lab wants to solve for your customers, or maybe in the AI or like much broader space, where does that vision stand?
Yeah, well, I think the challenges we want to solve with our customers is their customers' challenges. So realistically, as the world evolves, there's going to be new competitive advantages that are gained by people. So certain efficiencies made. So some companies might be spending a lot less on their contact center, or they want to maybe derive product awareness through their customer experience channels. So I think for us, it's about making sure that we're focused on the challenges of our business, and that way, our customers' businesses, and that way we're able to continue to innovate. And our vision would be to have software and solutions that really lead the way, so they're not lagging behind, because that's one of the things that we didn't want to do ourselves is lag behind. We wanted to be in AI and in software and innovating and come up with these next big ideas, because you know, when you look at the other companies that are doing it, it's fascinating. It's so fun to watch. Like, in fact, just even my cell phone, how many things it does for me, and that experience of just frictionless, easy. For instance, one of our products, it gets answers for students, like, so you don't have to like sit there and call the contact center like 5 times just to get a thing that should have been pretty easy, you know, to them. So a lot of solutions like that I think are going to change people's lives. So that's exciting for us.
Wow, that's brilliant. So in our previous episode, we were talking about how people are right now using ChatGPT as a thinking partner. It's not a tool anymore. It's not a search engine. It's not an AI anymore. It's a thinking partner. So you outsource your thinking to ChatGPT and tell it to think for you. So I'm just curious to know, like you mentioned, Kr8ive is looking into customer loyalty and helping customers solve that mystery of how do you gain loyal customers. Could you explain a bit more about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So in order to basically create an AI that's working for you, you basically have to think about your business as what sort of knowledge are your customers looking for, and how can I train a GPT and any AI for that matter to really behave on your best behalf. So I think I mentioned this a little earlier, but the constant feedback and the way it learns about, like, was that the right answer, and was that the way was it delivered properly? How does the AI interpret what your intentions are? So we try to make sure that we're always improving it as a model, and I think that's probably one of the biggest keys for us. Yeah.
Thank you for being on the show, Callum, and sharing your amazing stories and experiences. Could you let our audience know where they could find you?
Yeah, thank you. You can contact us at www.kr8ive.com, and on LinkedIn you can contact myself and I'd be happy to talk. Thank you.
So once again, thank you, Callum, for being on the show. So up next, we have Morgan Melnick from MNP with us on the show. So excited to interview him and share his story with you guys. See you in the next wave. That's a wrap for today's episode of Infinite Waves. We hope you're inspired to pioneer your own innovations. Brought to you by Kr8ive Innovations Lab, where creativity and technology drives the future. See you on the next wave.